Gods Will Be Watching isn't quite like any game I've played before. You play it like a point-and-click adventure, but it's not about solving the kinds of puzzles you usually find in such games. Instead, Gods Will Be Watching is a science fiction thriller that puts you in incredibly high-stakes situations where the tension is so thick as to be almost uncomfortable. Lives hang in the balance, and there are about 1 million ways things can go wrong at any moment. Consider the first chapter, a hostage situation in which you and the other members of your resistance group are trying to hack into a computer belonging to the Holistic Empire. You've got 4 hostages to manage and enemy soldiers advancing on your position. If any hostage gets too relaxed, he or she will think you're distracted and make a run for it. If they get too nervous, they'll panic and also make a run for it. Either way, it's bad news for them, but it's bad news for you too. Run out of hostages and the enemy soldiers will blast their way in. Every time you take an action, the mood of the hostages shifts, and you need to pay close attention to their animations to determine how they're feeling. You've also got to keep the guards at bay, and you've also got a computer to hack. And you've got to regularly reinforce your network security so that the Empire's hacker can't counter-hack you and cost you valuable hacking progress. It's a lot of plates to keep spinning, and the fact that people start dying if things go sideways makes this first chapter a real pressure cooker. The second chapter is more unpleasant. It's a prolonged torture sequence in which you need to survive session after session of punishment by alternating between successfully lying to your captors, provoking them, begging them for mercy, and maybe confessing the occasional detail. You have to take the methods your captors are using to torture you into account to determine just how much punishment you can take, since some things hurt a lot more than others. Despite the low level of detail in the graphics, I squirm uncomfortably in my seat every time my characters are tortured. And one round of torture is a game of Russian roulette, in which every pull of the trigger translates into a chance that your character's head will be blown off. It's emotionally grueling. I guess I can't complain too much. My characters suffer and die, and while I cringe uncomfortably in sympathy, I'm sitting here comfortably at my computer. But still, something about this game leaves my spirit feeling a little broken. I admire the originality of Gods Will Be Watching, but when I meet a brutal end after suffering through session after session of digital torture, I need to take some time to recover before jumping back in and trying it again. The gods may be watching, but they're not going to show you any mercy. They're just sitting in quiet judgment of your every decision. The game will be released for PC on July 24th.